We built a trail through these woods in front of our house. The trail serves two purposes for us. One, it gives us a place to go for a walk. It's a nice little loop, connects back with our driveway. And two, these woods are full of trees that are either dead and have already fallen down or are dead standing trees that need to be cleaned up. In order for us to get in here and maintain these woods, we need to be able to access it with a tractor. When we started out, the bank where we entered was very steep, and I would not have been able to go up and down it with the tractor. While we had the mini excavator rented that we used for the drainage project, we had about an hour one evening and used that to get started on the trail and get it to a point where we could get in with the tractor. There we go. Taking these trees out is going to mess up some of the roots of the bigger trees. Really trying to avoid digging where I can and avoid, knocking it down into a big canopy of something else. So that's why I kind of knocked this a little bit, and then now I'm kind of just plucking it out. Like this tree right here, I'm trying to avoid damaging that tree, and that's, why I'm doing the way I'm doing it. With dead trees, got to keep an eye on them, and I knew this one was probably going to snap off. My goal was to get as most of it to the ground as I could before it broke. Two good things. One, it's all wrapped up in vines, just kind of kept it tied together, and it swung away from me. You got to be careful with them and have an escape route. Did make the trail in this section wider than it maybe necessarily needed to be, particularly as a walking trail, but I wanted to have enough room to be able to get in and turn around and haul the brush in and out with the tractor. There we go. There now. This will go now. Right where we want it. We were able to use the leftover soil from regrading that lower yard to make a little ramp entering the trail off of the driveway edge so that we're able to walk up and down it as well as be able to get in and out with the tractor relatively easily. After that first hour with the mini excavator, we got a little over halfway through the trail, basically a straight shot, cleared and cleaned up and stacked in a pile on the side. Where I left off, there was this big pine stump about 8 feet in the air and a few other trees around it that we wanted to leave. And I really couldn't pass through in between with the mini excavator, and that stump was just too big to dig up. Right in the middle where we're trying to go. Still solid, it's not big. And I also couldn't pass through that section with the tractor. So I started on this end and worked my way back and met in the middle at that stump. What was left on this half was very little actual trees that needed to be removed. The majority of it was brush. I did have to take down 3 trees to be able to get into this area and maneuver in with the tractor. I cut this tree down. We're just gonna cut it down and we'll just cut the stump off as low as we can so that we can drive around it and not run into any issues that way. So now we have the decision of which way we want to cut it. This is a tree. We kind of have 2 directions. We could drop it that way. It would hit that big magnolia here. Or if we go this way, it's definitely going to hit this tree right here, but that tree's coming down anyways. It's not going to damage any of the trees that we want to keep. It's short enough that any of the canopies it's going to hit are trees that are coming down anyway. So I think I'm going to go this direction with it. I think I'm actually going to just go ahead and cut this guy right here down. This could get hung up in that one, and that one's coming down too. Got hung up in the top of this kind of weird crooked maple. Let's just go ahead and drop this other tree, see if it knocks it both down. If not, then we'll push it over with the tractor. Then for what was left on the actual trail was a bunch of cleanup of brush. As for trees that were actually on the trail that left remaining to be removed, there were only a few small trees. And I was hopeful that I could get those down with the tractor and the grapple and not leave any stumps. I did cut down the first 2 trees. Those aren't really on the trail. I just cut them down, cut them as low as I could. I can easily drive in and out with the tractor, but I did want to get the stumps out of the trees that were on the trail so we didn't have tripping hazards when we're walking through here. There was one tree in particular that put up a big fight, and it really wasn't that big of a tree. It just obviously has a strong taproot, and the loader with the grapple is really not that strong in order of trying to dig out something like that. I then moved on to cutting up these big pines, or multiple trees that had fallen across the path that I had to cut up and pull out the sections. The project for a later date will be to come back and to get the rest of those trees picked up, but for now we just cut out some big sections so that we could easily get through there and got those pulled out of the way. There was a little bit of coordination to wiggle these pines out of here around these stumps, but it really was not that big of a deal. Obviously it would have been a lot easier if we could have done this with the mini excavator while I had it here, but the grapple works. Once I got those all cleaned up, I just took the loader bucket and back drug this area to kind of level things out. As you can see, it's been about a month since we actually did this work, and leaves have fallen down. We've been able to walk on this trail a good bit and kind of start to break it in. Our next video is going to be getting some hay for our homestead and all that goes into doing that. It seems simple, but there were a lot of steps to get ready for that. And thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you back here on our next video.